Discover connection, awaken sacredness, become empowered. Join us for our show on Blog Talk Radio. Discover your spiritual gifts live.
Welcome to Discover Your Spiritual Gifts Live, show number 38. We are your hosts, Dave
and Vialet.
Our guest today is Johanna Alper. Johanna Alper, the healer's coach, has been a classical acupuncturist and teacher in Boulder, Colorado since 1981. She now coaches healers, therapists, and mission-inspired entrepreneurs to attract more clients and prosper by utilizing the 5 Chinese medicine energetic success principles. A speaker, coach, thought leader, and author, her forthcoming book, Attract Clients Today, Chinese Medicine Success Principles for Holistic Business Success, will be published in the autumn of 2020. She is offering an online group program, Attract 6 Clients in 6 weeks, which begins June 17th and has a special pandemic savings price. So welcome, Johanna. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Dave and Vialet. It's just really an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today.
Well, we love to have you. We love to have you. I know I got to briefly meet you the other day, so it was pretty awesome. And to realize you're right here in Colorado, you're in Boulder. I thought you were somewhere else. And for the people that are listening, Johanna got a hold of me months and months and months ago and said, I'd love to be on your show. And when I told her, okay, I'm going to schedule you in May, she goes, May? Because I think it was like 2019 when she got a hold of me. And so we're really happy to have her on the show and to realize that she's right here locally. So tell us about your spiritual journey, like where it began and what brought you into doing what you do today.
I've been always a questioner, actually, and a pioneer. And growing up, I was born right after World War II. I'll be 74 tomorrow, but I seem to be aging with great vitality and still having adventures and being a pioneer still. In the 60s, I was very involved with the anti-war movement, communal living in San Francisco, a lot of wild explorations. And I felt very, very, it was very important to be working at that time against the war in Vietnam, but it wasn't done in a peaceful way, even though we were trying to find peace. So in 1970, I started to learn about meditation. And that really turned me around. Actually, it was the end of 1970. I started meditating with a Tibetan meditation teacher, one of the first Tibetans to arrive with this into the West, Chögyam Trungpa. I've been meditating for close to 50 years now, and a lot of solitary retreats of up to a month long. So I haven't just been doing it a few minutes a day. It's been a deep journey. And then I also was very inspired to learn about Chinese medicine and began studying acupuncture in the 70s, the late 70s. People really hadn't heard much about it yet. And I've been practicing acupuncture in Boulder, as Dave mentioned, since 1981. And I've been continuing to study as well. This is a many lifetimes journey in both cases for meditation and for healing and acupuncture. Don't just pick it up in a few weeks, although we can begin. If we have a lot of heart and aspiration to help people, we can begin with a workshop or else go deeper and have it be for decades.
Dave, you took some classes in acupuncture energy, right?
Yes. I went to the school down on Colfax here in Denver.
Great.
And I went for 2 trimesters, and just I was having to do it half time, and I just couldn't see that level of effort for 6 years to make it through the program. And I was doing so many other healing modalities that I felt that I could do just as well with those. And so it gave me a good foundation in Chinese medicine and Chinese thinking. And so I still carry that forward. And sometimes I find some of the concepts are very helpful in looking at a way to come up with a metaphor for why people aren't healing and finding ways to help them heal.
That's wonderful. It's really great.
So how did you move from doing acupuncture to now helping people with their businesses? So how did that happen for you?
Actually, I didn't even realize that my practice was a business for almost 30 years. I was successful. It didn't occur to me this was business, even though I did fine, through referrals, and it just completely flowed. But I was also teaching at 2 different acupuncture schools, especially the one in Louisville, Colorado, the Institute of Taoist Education and Acupuncture, which is a slightly different aspect of Chinese medicine than the school that you went to, Dave. It's the one in Louisville is the ancient classical 5 elements.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I realized that the students who I'd helped teach and mentor in the clinic were leaving, and they weren't getting their practices to be successful. And it was really, honestly, very heartbreaking, because it didn't occur to me, because it had been so easy for me to start, being one of the early ones. It didn't occur to me how much things had changed and how hard it was to get a practice going, especially for someone who'd been through school for years and had big student loans to pay, families to support. So I began to learn about coaching and about business. And that was shocking, because that, as I mentioned, that hadn't even occurred to me. And I took a number of coaching courses that truthfully were beyond me, which was very humbling and shocking. I wasn't strong in the digital world. I thought that I could accomplish them much more quickly. So it was quite difficult at first, until I realized that our businesses are living systems and have all of the 5 energies of Chinese medicine within the business. And then things changed for me. It became way more joyful, organic, and powerful. And I was more able to help my clients because it was no longer something more mechanical. And so it's been exciting.
Well, that's pretty awesome, because most spiritual business owners, we see it every day, don't understand, just like you, that this is a business. They step in because they're passionate about what they do. They're passionate about their gifts. They want to help people. They want to have clients and assist them. And they don't realize that there's a lot that goes into this: financial planning, marketing, promotion, operations, return on investment. I mean, we're talking big business words that, we have practitioners at the center. Dave's one of the practitioners, but I have people working at the center, and they're not business people. They're people that got passionate about a certain modality or a certain gift, and they want to offer it to the world. So they have no idea that it's a business. So it's pretty cool that we could take Chinese medicine and really step back and look at our businesses and how that works. So talk to us a little bit about how those elements work within a business. How does somebody see that? How does that connect to that system?
Well, everybody probably knows about yin and yang. The yin is the feminine, receptive, and the yang is the more masculine, extroverted, outward, dynamic principle. But also, Chinese medicine is based on those, yin and yang, but also on what are called the 5 elements. And these are energies that the Chinese observed for millennia and base their medicine on a balance of all of them, which are connected to the seasons, organs, emotions, and our businesses. The 5 elements are fire, earth, metal, or also air, water, and wood. And just like the cycle of the seasons, all of the elements need to be present in order to have life and healing and balance. So the fire element is about our hearts. And that's about, actually, I discovered, about our brands, communicating our heart into the world. Because, and being connected to our hearts means our mission, our why, all the reasons we chose to be healers. But we can have that feeling and not necessarily express it out in a brand. But when we do express it, we shine more brightly in the marketplace, because people don't choose healing. They choose a healer, an acupuncturist, or a chiropractor, or whoever. So when we express our unique style and radiance in our brand, people who are looking for what we offer will be much more likely to find us. So that's the fire element. The earth element is just like the great mother who serves us all. It's about how we show up in service. Because if we're going to marketing to everyone is not very effective. But when we learn to hone our niche, which is a part of the earth element, who we serve, the problems we solve or services we offer, and also going beyond just one by one session marketing, and have programs and packages so that people can have much more deep transformation than just coming in once in a while, then that's how the earth expresses, which is about service. Just as the fire element is about visibility and radiance, the earth element is about how we serve. The metal element is about prosperous money flow. And it's often a really difficult place to go for many healers, because we are so into serving. And actually, if you believe in lifetimes, many lifetimes, which I'm guessing many people listening do believe in that, we have been trained as healers to not really look at money, but just to offer our services. Maybe we got back some grains or vegetables, or maybe it was trade, or we worked in monasteries and nunneries where we healed and we didn't touch money. But it's a very different age today. And for healers, we're not part of the medical system. So often, the conventional medical system, of course, even though acupuncture is so partly there. But the metal element is a very powerful element as we learn to open our mindsets to be open to more prosperity and let go of limiting beliefs that money is somehow not connected to spirituality, sacredness, and healing. The water element is about sustainability, and we know we live in a very extroverted, until the recent pandemic, we're all very extroverted and very out there, fiery, inflamed culture. But as healers, we're teaching people how to go deeply, to be better hydrated, to go into deeper levels, which our society doesn't honor. And the water element is about being sustainable with ourselves and helping our clients also be more sustainable and have work-life balance. And the wood element, which is very hard for many healers, is about not just visioning and planning about our business, but also going out into the marketplace to have inspired and soulful and heartful, non-aggressive enrollment, sales, and marketing and sales conversations. So all of these together can help make a business very powerful and sustainable and heartful, and make it that business isn't so icky or foreign, but it's just like the incredible healing work that we offer. So I work with my clients to make sure that all of the elements are strong so that they can flourish and attract clients, make a lot of impact, be successful and prosperous.
I love the spiritual aspects. I think it shows up in all of our lives in different ways. So I love that it shows up in this way here too, and how it works. So you were also sharing how it connects above, I think, not only the elements, but how the other energies come to play. Can you share a little more about that with us?
Was that in our earlier conversation about the four immeasurables?
Yeah.
So the four immeasurables are something in Buddhism, but they're in every healing and spiritual tradition. And these are loving kindness, compassion, unconditional joy, and equanimity or deep peace. And I call those heaven's operating system, whereas the five elements, which I just spoke about, are nature's operating system, and how they come together to help us flourish and through this time. I feel like the four immeasurables that I mentioned, the loving kindness and compassion, joy and peace, are kind of a womb, actually. They're not just heaven above, they're the whole womb in which we all live and flourish. So it's a dynamic way of joining heaven and nature, earth, all together to have our purposeful and flourishing lives. And I feel that at this time especially, people are no longer thinking the government's going to help their health. You know, the system is based on sickness. It's not based on wellness and healthcare system. So we are going, as healers, many are going to be looking for us much more. We're going to shine even more brightly than we have been. We may not think so because so many of us are still quarantining at home, can't go into our businesses. They're considered often non-essential. But as the months go along, we have the capacity to shine way more brightly, I believe, and become more strong and visible leaders, teachers, and the healers that we are.
Good. Well, I'm going to jump in here. I want to talk about money because that seems to be a real hard one for a lot of people, especially when they're starting out, that it's not right for me to ask to be paid for using my spiritual gifts. That's a very common belief. And then some people who, frankly, they give away their services way too much. And, they may have a little bit of an understanding problem that sometimes people, if you give it away, they don't honor what you're doing for them. So let's talk about money issues, because I'm sure, fundamentally, if you don't have cash flow in a business, you aren't going to be in business. It's not a business if you aren't making money and distributing money as needed. So let's talk about your views on money there.
I'm so happy you're emphasizing this, Dave, because we both know for so many healers, this is just a tremendous sticking point. And it's also comes from beliefs that we've inherited that somehow poverty is more sacred or more honorable than success and prosperity. And that's been put in our minds over time through certain institutions. And because we have such spiritual views and pure hearts, and truthfully, so many of us would be happy to give this away if it were a different system, it is now impeding us from being visible, being more full-time, helping ourselves and our families, and making the impact that actually I believe the world is desperately asking us to make. So we are the bottlenecks in our business, often around prosperity and and having limited beliefs about that. I work with clients in a number of ways through how I've been trained in coaching. One is through something called the sacred money archetypes, where we find out what are your strongest archetypes and what are the gifts and strengths and what are their challenges and blind spots, so that you can learn to let go of your challenges and blind spots, like thinking money's not sacred. But it's different styles and ways of doing that, so that then you can open up to receiving. I mean, we don't just breathe out, constantly breathe out. We have to breathe in also. We have to give out and receive. I heard that Sark, I don't know if you know who she is, a spiritual writer and teacher. She said, we all healers, we all have PhDs in giving, but we're in kindergarten in receiving. We need to get over this and get over our limiting beliefs, get over our training. A lot, especially also as women, we were trained to be more safe and more quiet, and at least in my generation, although we broke through that a lot. But if we don't get over these old limiting beliefs from this lifetime or another, it's very hard to flourish. And I help people unpack that and have a much more balanced view. It's not about being greedy. It's not about being not spiritual. It's about having a balance and joining both heaven's vision and pureness with Earth's practicality. And I find my clients start to become very successful, and I have over time also. And I'm very grateful to be learning and growing at this time and helping others to do so. One of my clients recently tripled his return on investment in a coaching program with me. It was a 6-month program. He tripled his return on investment in less than 5 months. And of course, that was because he was able to make much bigger impact, serve more people, create programs and packages. So we, as healers, I feel like it's our responsibility to get over these old limited beliefs. And I delight in helping people with that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, one of the interesting things, and again, these are people who are young and just getting into it, especially. I see this at the metaphysical fairs. When you talk to people about, okay, so you're going to be a reader at this table. Now, when are you going to ask the people to pay? What are you going to do with the money when they pay? What are you going to do with them if they're unhappy? And you know, that's when it's better to develop a protocol, get the money up front, leave it in obvious display on the table so you both know that they've paid and you don't have to worry about it at the end of the session. And if things just aren't clicking, they aren't working, you say, I guess I'm just not the right person for you. You give them their money back and you say, thank you for trying. And, you know, learning how to handle those different possible outcomes in a graceful, you know, business-oriented way is very important, rather than just saying, okay, I'm deer in the headlights. They don't like what I'm doing. What do I do now? This is where you need to talk through those strategies. And the same thing for, you know, receiving money, you know, for an acupuncture practice, or if you're some other type of reader, you know, in an office. How do you accept the money? When do you accept it? How do you talk to the person and say, you know, you won't always see results immediately. Sometimes it takes a little while for your body to adjust. So please, you know, be patient with it and give me some feedback on that. You know, things like that to reassure the person if they don't just feel like they're going to stand up out of the wheelchair or throw away the crutches in your session, what comes next, and having realistic expectations over different possible outcomes and things like that. So all these factor into, again, that ultimate money thing about, wow, I bought the ticket and I didn't get to ride on the ride. What's going on here?
Right. You know, so often we have, because we're in a culture where we can go on TV and see, oh, take this pill, and immediately your illness will be gone, you know, is a view of not seeing the illness, maybe in the symptoms as a cry for help, and that because people have the view of healing happening very quickly, which sometimes it does, people have such strange expectations. But it's more, we know it's more like planting a garden. You don't just toss the seeds in and you get a harvest. And often, people can get awareness very quickly, but real transformation takes time and takes seasons. And if we devalue ourselves in our work and go along with the culture's view of us, that devalues us around also prosperity, and it doesn't serve people, because often people have to work on themselves as well. Of course, it's not just go lie down on the table, fix me, and then that takes time. But I'm so happy to be a healer at this time, and I feel like there's never been a better time, even though a lot of people are quite scared with how much money they've spent for their trainings and how much aspiration they feel inside to help, and yet not being able to get a good financial return or an appropriate one, so that they don't have to have other jobs that exhaust them. So it's a very exciting time. I feel like things are going to change too, because it's so obvious that people are needing what so many of us have to offer. And
well, we're going to take a little break here for some information about Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Violet Rain, Master Teacher of the Akashic Records series of classes here at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. If you've been interested in the Akashic Records are the life book or the etheric records of everything that we've ever thought, spoken, done, all of our contracts, relationships since we left Source. It is a valuable resource of information that people are able to tap into to get clarity, to get guidance, just to find out why things are the way they are in their life. The Akashic really helps us do that. This is a great series of classes if you're already getting intuitive information, meaning you're either getting visuals, or you're hearing things, or you just know things, or you feel things. This is a great class to step into to amplify the information that you're receiving from a higher level of source versus just your intuition. If you'd like to find out more about my series of classes for the Akashic Records, please check out on our website under classes and look for Akashic Record Certification. I hope to see you in class, or I hope to see you at the center here at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.
Well, welcome back to the show. Our guest is Johanna Alper, and we're talking about Chinese medicine viewpoints and how they relate to organizing and managing a business and improving a business, especially for people involved in alternative healing. So we're continuing here. I want to follow up on the previous side. You're talking about the instant fix and taking a pill, and you always like to point out to people, if you listen to what are the possible side effects, the most common side effect for any of these drugs is diarrhea. And thank goodness that's not a usual outcome of our alternative treatments, no matter what we use with people. So we may not always get the quick fix, but we don't have some of those other nasty side effects in that big long list they read at the end of the commercial.
Right.
That is so true. But we've become a society of instant gratification, right? We want to order the item online and it's going to show up in 3 hours on our porch. We're going to drive through the fast food, and in 5 seconds, we're going to have something to eat and drink. We have this idea of instant gratification, those drug commercials of you're going to instantly lose weight. You're going to instantly do this. And the truth is, you're right. You just don't throw seeds out on the ground and the harvest shows up in 3 seconds. It takes the season for those seeds to root, to grow, to sprout, to come. And you know, the most beautiful things come through time. They don't come through instant gratification. And we're forgetting that the most beautiful things that we have in our life are our relationships we develop over time, the work that we do in developing ourselves, you know, the investment we do in our education or in our passions. Those are what produce really good, rich returns versus instant. But you were also talking about money, and what I find interesting is that there's a lot of people listening and people out there that believe you have a gift, you should do this for free. And the reality is many of our practitioners or people working in this field have went to school. They have student loans, they've invested in certifications, they've gotten educated, they've invested time and experience. Just like anyone that goes out and opens a business, they've invested in their education and their experience. They've been able to grow. Why shouldn't they have a return on what they're giving? It's an energy exchange of give and take. And I believe in fair pricing. I don't believe in outpricing, right? Unless you're famous and you can charge $3,000 an hour. I think that's awesome. That's not for me. I think there's a fair exchange that happens in return for delivering something of value. And I think what we have is of value. So that's kind of my input. How do you feel when people, I'm sure you've had that, where people come up and say, well, I think it should be for free. And you're coaching a business person that really has a hard time putting a value to what they offer because their family or their belief system thinks it should be free.
I don't see people who totally want to see me for free anymore, but people who do want, I mean, I've been at this 40 years, you know, but people who want to slide a lot. And I understand that because some people absolutely cannot afford to see me. So depending on how much they want to take advantage of or to receive a sliding scale, I do offer that to some extent. So I keep my prices pretty high also because I've been doing this and teaching for decades. But I also think sliding scales are appropriate, can be, but in terms of free, people can go get a book for free on the library and heal themselves. So it depends, you know, it's this kind of arrogance and entitlement about, in our society, what you were saying about throw the seeds in the ground and think we're going to have a harvest right away or get things for free immediately. It's just, it's not practical. And because we're such loving, giving people, we've gone along with it too much. And I feel like so many of us need to strengthen our spines and value ourselves and be able to speak about money is not a big deal. Pass the salt, no big deal. I receive money. You make money in your ways. If you want to see me, you can offer money. I don't think we as healers, we need to be the ones to unpack whatever limited beliefs we have. And there are a lot of ways to help people do that. There are books on it. I read books on it, and I thought I had an abundance mentality, but I actually have learned to go even deeper, to not be greedy or outrageous, but to have relaxation about this and honor myself as much as I honor my incredible clients and students. So
I love that. It's fair value, right? It's
yes.
a business fair value.
Yes.
And I know I have those conversations a lot, especially with new people coming on. And Dave's right. At the fair, they're brand new. They forget to collect the money, and they'll come up to you later and they'll go, oh, I forgot. I forgot. Because money is something that we think of last when we do this. And it is an exchange. It's just energy. It's just It's just
Right.
energy. It's an exchange. And when you start to look at it that way and you get really playful with it, it gets to be really powerful, right? We all have
Right.
a need. We are responsible for keeping the lights on and paying the rent and
Right.
doing all that, just like everybody else. It's a requirement here. If it wasn't a requirement, we'd be doing other things, right? If we got given houses and electricity and food and we didn't have to worry about any of that, and we got to do what we enjoy and be passionate about, I'm sure we'd all still be doing what we're doing, but it would be a different exchange, right?
Right.
And so we just have to look at it that way. So I love that you've taken a really spiritual system and figured out how it fits within the business conversations, because I don't think people see them together, and we need to see them together, right?
Absolutely. I heard that Reverend Michael Beckwith, that wonderful Reverend out in California, he said, it's really hard to be a light worker if you can't pay the light bills. And if you can't pay your light bill. So it's just one of the principles of energy. It's not the most important one. It's not about us grasping, but it's also not about rejecting. It's about being just aligned and relaxed and ordinary about it, and forthright and relaxed.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, in the early 90s, a friend of mine got involved as one of the early ISPs in Denver. I mean, that was back when we had modems to dial into an internet service provider. And everybody was coming out of the woodwork and approaching him with, well, Mike, you need to do this and we can do this. And he would just finally turn to him and say, you know, I can work for free anywhere. I can watch TV for free. You know, he was not seeing an investment. And I think people have to ask themselves, here's a fundamental question. If I go to see a reader and it's free, will I honor that information that comes across the same as if I saw Sylvia Brown for $600 for a half-hour phone call?
Yeah, right.
I guarantee if I pay $600 for a half-hour phone call, I will listen to that recording over and over to look for the nuggets in it. If I get a reading for free, I'm tempted to discount it. So it's putting skin in the game. It's getting involved. It's making a commitment. It's saying, I decided to deliberately choose this and invest in it. So I think that's one of the other warnings about giving away services for free, is that the client will treat it like a free sample, and you know, they can walk away from it and nothing lost. And that doesn't lead to people thinking about what you've done, focusing on it, doing follow-up suggestions on what they should do after the appointment, things like that. If they do it for free, they'll probably walk away from it.
It's true. And also, as healers, we're often wisdom holders, and that we know that sometimes it's painful to put up a really big mirror to people about where their energy is at. And if we're constantly soothing people because we're worried about maybe receiving money or hurting people or whatever, we may not be as absolutely honest as we could potentially be to help people take the responsibility and be the co-creators of their health along with us as we work with them. And it's very interesting treading this fine line today, but I find it a delightful and adventurous journey. And I haven't always been totally skillful, but I do my best to be compassionate and as skillful as I can be, and grow, as I'm sure you two are growing also with these conversations. And
well, it takes work on both sides, right? It takes, you know, the person that comes in and gets the free reading and walks away, there's no work in there for them. The person that went to see Sylvia Brown and they listened to it over and over again, they're putting work into it. They're putting energy into it. They're taking actions into it, right? They're putting that. So the person that gave the information they put work in it, they put energy in it, and the person that received it needs to put work and energy into it too, because everything's a give and take. It's moving energy, so it's really important. And so no matter what kind of business you're in, that you're seeing clients, all of us, it takes work on their part. I don't think I've ever seen a client where I didn't give them stuff to think about, process, reflect on, work on, consider, because it's work, transformation, moving forward, making changes, shifting your life. There's a little bit of work in this, and yes, it takes work. And so it's worth that value. And I think the money exchange is just part of that as well. Yes. Just wraps it all together.
And it's a business. It's not a charity, but as we make money, then we're also able to offer charity as well, which I'm sure most of us do in some way or other. So.
Yeah, absolutely. As part of the service piece of giving back. Yes. You know, how much are you going to give back, and what does that look like? I think that's an important piece. So, so talk to us a little bit, because you have this quiz online that people can go take. Talk to us a little bit about this quiz that you offer, because I want the viewers to be able to have an opportunity to understand what it's about and how that works.
Okay, happy to. The name of my business is Medicine Buddha Coaching, and my website is medicinebuddhacoaching.com. You don't have to be a Buddhist. Medicine, healing, Buddha is about waking up, and work with lots of people who aren't Buddhists. But so if you go to medicinebuddhacoaching.com, right underneath the banner at the top is a line that says take the holistic business quiz. And in 3 minutes, you can take this quiz online and discover which of the 5 elements in your business needs strengthening. Is it visibility and brand, your fire? Is it how you show up in service to your niche, the earth? Is it the metal, the limiting beliefs around money? And is it the water with work-life balance and stronger marketing? Or is it the wood element with having sane, non-aggressive marketing and sales conversations? You can see very quickly how your business where it stands now and where it could be strengthened. And I also offer complimentary conversations. They're usually $97, but now during the pandemic, these are free for a half an hour conversation after you've taken the business quiz to see how the 5 elements are in your business, how they could be strengthened, where you want your business to go, and some action steps you can take, whether on your own, with another mentor, or with me. But first, it starts with the quiz. So if you go to medicinebuddhacoaching.com, you can take the quiz and find out.
That's pretty awesome.
It's wonderful.
Pretty awesome. So you also have a class coming up. So talk to us a little bit about your class.
The class begins June 17th, and it runs for 6 weeks. It's actually 7 sessions, but it goes for 6 weeks. It's an online class, Wednesday evenings, and a group coaching class. People also receive sessions with me. We will go through templates and have short lectures, templates, and lots of interaction to help you strengthen the 5 elements of your business. And just like a garden, if one of the elements is missing, it's really hard to get a harvest. You don't have the right water, or you don't have the right seeds, or the right amount of sun. It's very hard to get a harvest. So in the 5 elements program, it's called Attract 6 Clients in 6 weeks. We'll go through all the elements, and you'll have a chance to strengthen your business. There'll also be a Facebook group, which I will be on every weekday to help give feedback. There'll be a wonderful group of peers who will go along with you and give encouragement, accountability, support, and cheerleading for all of us, because this is such an important time to go beyond just our limited ways of doing things and get our incredible work out into the world. And we're very sensitive people as healers. Sensitivity, though, is our superpower, but business and marketing can be our kryptonite and weaken us. So this is a way to get our business and marketing stronger in a wonderful way. And I'm happy to talk to anybody who has interest in the program. And I also offer a referral fee if you're not interested in taking it, but you have a friend or colleague who would like to take it. I offer a 20% referral fee, and it's at the program attracts 6 clients in 6 weeks, is at a special pandemic price, so it's not going to be this at this price in the future, but it's wonderful. And people get a lot of value from it. You'll get a lot of value from it. It'll be delightful.
That all sounds wonderful.
Thank you, Dave. It is.
Yeah, there's so many stumbling blocks to getting a new practice going, whatever your modality.
Yes.
And probably one of the big ones is, wow, I have the doors open, I have the business cards, I have the signs up, I have a website. Why aren't I getting calls?
Right. And we can start to think it's our fault. And that's really tragic, because we just haven't learned the skills. And learning from the 5 elements in this way, the 5 Chinese success principles, makes learning this fun, just like going to healing school. We all probably had a blast in healing school. Got to receive treatments, got to give them. We're so excited about the new learnings. And this way of learning marketing can help be congruent with the ways that we love our healing work too, and love offering and learning about it. And so often it's easier to take another certification or something like that, but actually learning marketing and business can be tremendous personal development for us as healers.
Yeah.
At least that's been my experience. I used to be much shyer. I have a shy quality, but this is allowing me to move out in a larger way, a friendlier way, and an easier way. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Violet, do you have anything more?
No, I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity, as Dave said, and we've all mentioned. A lot of people, finish class or finish school, and they go and they open an office and they hang out their shingle, and then it's what's next. And this is a great step of what's next. We believe if we put our energy out there, people will come, and it doesn't quite work that way. So having an understanding of how to do that's really important. Thank you so much for being on our show. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for your offerings. I'm really excited. And I hope someday when we get our center open, we can have you down and people can meet you in person. And especially when your book comes out this fall, reach out and we'll get something going so that people can pick up their own copy.
Thank you so much, Vialet and Dave. It was really a pleasure to be here today, to have this conversation, and to meet you as brother and sister on the journey. Thank you. I do hope we meet, and I'm grateful for you having me on your show. So thank you.
I look forward to it. Again, for the listeners, for more information, go to www.medicinebuddhacoaching.com. Thank you for listening today. Our next guest is Melinda Gillette, and we're going to have some more messages from some of our other practitioners at DYSG that you may be interested in. So hang on for a few more minutes. Everybody take care. Have a great week.
I am Deborah Peter. I am a cranial sacral therapist. I had a career in accounting and finance for 20 years and had an opportunity to change pathways and decided to pursue a career in massage therapy because I was fascinated with the body. And that career in massage therapy then led me to craniosacral therapy. Craniosacral therapy is a body work modality that works with the nervous system and is beneficial for anything that the nervous system plays a part in. That includes trauma, any tension patterns in the body that are being held by the muscles or the fascia, headaches, chronic pain or any pain that the medical community has not been able to find a reason for. So basically anything that the nervous system has a part in. A session is often generally 60 to 90 minutes long. The person relaxes on a massage table, fully clothed. The session can sometimes involve dialoguing, or the person is just able to go into a deeply relaxed state. The therapist, myself, looks for tension patterns and feels for tension patterns in the body and looks to help the body release those tension patterns. In this world, we're often in a state of fight or flight, and this work helps bring the body down into more of a rest and digest space, which is really where healing happens, because the body has its own way of healing. And I'm there to support the person in their process of releasing restrictions and tension patterns and emotions that are often held in the body and limiting their ability to fully engage in the world. I'm available Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. I have offices in Inglewood as well as Littleton here at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can reach me at my website at harmonyridgemassage.com, or you can give me a call at 303-725-5800. I also offer a 20-minute free consultation over the phone if anybody's interested in more information or to find out if craniosacral therapy could help them with anything that they're dealing with. I look forward to working with you.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Mayer, Sistership Circle Facilitator and owner of Insight and Alchemy. I hold intentional events designed to provide transformational and soulful experiences. I serve by facilitating spiritual and tangible connection that enriches and empowers women in their expression, leadership, and lives. We have monthly sacred women's circle gatherings at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. Each month, we focus on different themes like self-love indulgence, expanding blessings, and activating abundance. We come together to honor our authentic selves, sisterhood, and the divine. In this safe and sacred circle container, we speak our truths, embody our intentions, and create action in ceremony. Circle is a confidential and supportive space where you're invited to openly share without interruption or unwanted feedback. Instead, you are beamed with loving energy while being seen, heard, and honored for just being you. We dig deep to raise the individual and universal vibration, healing sisterhood wounds, and shifting the paradigm of competition, isolation, and fear. Each circle is unique and offers magic and medicine co-created by all the women who come together. When you join us in Circle, you receive what you are meant to receive while enriching the experience for your sisters simply by being you. Won't you join us? Check our Circle gathering calendar and reserve your spot by visiting insightandalchemy.com, Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, or sistershipcircle.com/events for circles being offered in Colorado and around the world. Connect with me in Circle or contact me at tiffany@insightandalchemy.com to learn more about our monthly circles or schedule a private gathering. Blessings.
Angels are loving messengers and guardians, helping us find our way on our life mission and protecting us on the journey. Are you seeking an angelic perspective of yourself or situation? Ruby Wayward is an angel intuitive, using her intuition, angel tarot, and oracle cards to provide angelic perspective readings. Learn which angels are helping you or wanting to work with you, and gain insight from your guardian angels. Ruby not only works with angels, but with other mystic manifestors, messengers, and elementals like the dragons, unicorns, and fairies. Ruby can connect with you to your personal dragon, channel messages from your unicorn, and guide you in best practices with the fairies. Find Ruby Wayward as a reader at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts every second Sunday of the month. Walk-ins are welcome, or call Discover Your Spiritual Gifts at 720-573-4275 to set up an appointment.
Discover connection, awaken sacredness, become empowered. Join us for our show on Blog Talk Radio.